the idea of legitimate authority is so powerful to be able to be the arbiters of what is true and what is real, that anyone who is playing the game of power has a maximum incentive, however successful they are, to be able to capture and influence that for their good. We also know that it's possible to mislead with exclusively true facts that are cherry-picked or framed. So
Absolutely.
I can cherry pick facts on one side or the other side of a Gaussian distribution and tell any story I want that will make it through a fact checker. So fact checking is valuable, but not even close to sufficient. So I can lie through something like The Atlantic as well as I can lie through something like Breitbart through different mechanisms for different populations.
Yeah, this is a super excellent point as well, that a fact checker errs in one direction, and if you can build a falsehood out of true objects that have been edited, then the fact checker won't spot it. So love that point.
And so I can do a safety analysis on a drug, and I'm not looking at every metric that matters. I'm looking at some subset of the metrics, and it might be that it's safe on those metrics, but all-cause mortality increases, life expectancy decreases, but I only did the safety study for 2 years, so I wouldn't notice that. So I can say, no, methodologically, this was perfect and sound. It just also doesn't matter because I wasn't measuring the right things.
Right. And so this also, basically what you have just said, means that the replication crisis can be understood as a mechanism for generating data which can be cherry-picked to reach any conclusion you want about the effects of this intervention or that intervention, right? Because effectively what you have is the ability to choose between experiments where sampling error will result in both outcomes being evident somewhere.
This is another one of those, is it conflict theory or information or mistake theory thing, is I can intentionally manipulate an outcome that looks methodologically sound and then say, oh, we just didn't know those factors, right? I'm not saying that whether that's happening or not, it certainly can happen. Okay, so now we get back to, how do you have a legitimate authority that has the power of being the arbiter of what is true and real and all the power that's associated and have it not get captured by power interests? Is a very, very important question. How, in the name of the Bible and Christendom and Jesus saying, let he who has no sins cast the first stone, did we do the Inquisition, right? Like weird mental gymnastics by which the authority of that thing was able to be used for the power purposes of the time. And so now when you start to have increasing polarization between the left and the right, and historically more academics being left-leaning and the social sciences being so complex that you can cherry pick whatever the fuck you want and do methodologically sound and yet still misrepresentative stuff, then you say, is that actually a trustworthy source? And then we say, okay, well, do we want a bunch of wacky theories going out over Facebook and Twitter and whatever, or do we want to censor it? Well, if we censor it, who is the arbiter of truth that we trust? If we don't censor it, we're appealing to the worst aspects of everyone and making them all worse in all directions. Like those both suck so bad. And that's the oppression or chaos, right? And the only answer out of the oppression or chaos is the comprehensive education of everyone in the capacity to understand at least three things. They have to increase their first person, second person, and third person epistemics. Their third person epistemics is the easiest. Philosophy of science, formal logic, their ability to actually make sense of base reality through appropriate methodology and find appropriate confidence margin. Second person is my ability to make sense of your perspective. Can I steel man where you're coming from? Can I inhabit your position well? And if I'm not oriented to do that, then I'm not going to find the synthesis of a dialectic. I'm going to be arguing for one side of partiality, harming something that will actually harm the thing I care about in the long run. And then first person, can I notice my own biases and my own susceptibilities and my own group identity issues and whatever well enough that those aren't the things that run me? When I look at kind of the ancient Greek Enlightenment, the first person was the Stoic tradition. The second person was the Socratic tradition. The third person was the Aristotelian tradition. There's a mirror of all those in modernity. We need a new cultural enlightenment now where everyone values good sense making about themselves, about others, about base reality. and good quality dialogue with other people that are also sense making to emerge to a collective consciousness and collective intelligence that is more than our individual intelligence. And so that we have some basis of something that isn't chaos, but that also isn't oppression because it's emergent more than imposed. So it's cultural enlightenment or bust as far as I'm concerned.